digital,
FM, online.
This is Radio 1.
The PM admits knife crime isn't sorted.
And Strauss hits a ton for England, but India fight back.
Newsbeat.
Gordon Brown says there's plenty more to be done to cut knife crime. The PM's been speaking to Newsbeat after the government said the latest police crackdown was getting blades off the streets. Stabbings are down in 10 target areas where millions has been spent on extra patrols and searches.
We're not going to have knives on our streets. We're going to tell young people it's not acceptable. It's not macho. It's not cool. It's not something that you should be doing. It's not something that makes you safer. And I think that message will gradually get across to people.
And you can read more from the PM and find out about the latest clampdown on knife crime on the news pages of Radio 1 Online.
Radio 1.
Newsbeat.
A 24-year-old's been jailed for life for murdering a teenager who spat at his elderly dad on a bus. Miles Cadogan will have to serve a minimum of 20 years for killing 19-year-old Fouad Boualeh in West London back in January. There have been chaotic scenes at some Woolworths as the chain's closing down sale begins. Some shops are so full it's one in, one out. Up to 30,000 staff are facing redundancy this Christmas, among them Lynn Baker. She's assistant manager at Woolies in Tonbridge in Kent.
Personally, I'm pretty gutted. Got 3 members of my family all work for Woolworths, all in the same house. I think we're all pretty demoralised, pretty gutted.
The police watchdog's been called in Bradford after a stolen car crashed into a fish and chip shop, killing 4 people early this morning. Eyewitnesses say police cars had been blocking the road. Simon Cowell says it's embarrassing there's a clause in the X Factor winner's contract stating that they can't say anything bad about him. He's been speaking at a news conference for the 3 finalists.
I, by the way, wasn't aware that I was one of the clauses. What I would say it is probably the most useless clause in the history of contracts, because everybody does talk horrible about me. And you know what? I don't care.
And Robbie Williams says he would like to rejoin Take That, but not just yet. Writing in his blog, he says he's settled his differences with the group and they're all now friends again.
Opener Andrew Strauss is confident England can kick on from their close-of-play score of 229 for 5 after his century on day 1 of the first test in India. Could have been better, though, as they had been 164 for 1 at one stage. But Strauss reckons with Freddie Flintoff still there and a couple of others down the order, England can still post a decent total.
We've got some good batting to come. Matt Price proved himself on numerous occasions with a bat. Freddie looked very good tonight. Yeah, so there's no reason why we can't do it, but we've just got to show the right sort of application and get through that first hour tomorrow.
Manchester City manager Mark Hughes has denied reports his bosses want to interfere in team selection. The club's Abu Dhabi-based owners could give him more cash to spend in January, but Hughes says that doesn't mean they have a say in picking the team. Lewis Hamilton says Max Mosley's idea of Formula 1 teams using the same engines and gearboxes from 2010 would lower standards and make F1 less exciting. The FIA president wants teams to cut costs by 80%, but Hamilton doesn't think that's realistic.
The manufacturers, they play such a huge role in the sport and what makes it so exciting. So if you didn't have that, then it would be like one of the lower categories where it's not as exciting. So I personally don't see that changing.
But bad news for Scotland Rugby Union fans. Rory Lamont is set to miss the entire Six Nations after having ankle surgery.
The weather mostly dry tonight, but cold and frosty. Some mist and fog may form later. We'll update the news and sport at 5 o'clock.